The network is under fire for what some are saying could be a case of blackmail. Earlier today, in an article titled How CNN Found the Reddit User Behind the Trump Wrestling GIF, CNN published a story about the person responsible for creating
It's art.
the infamous video of the President Trump, wrestling CNN. According to the article, the network decided against users because, quote, he is a private citizen who has issued an extensive statement of apology, showed his remorse by saying he has taken down all his offending posts, and because he said he is not going to repeat this ugly behavior on social media again.
We will.
The article then went on to issue what appears to be a not-so-veiled threat. Quote, CNN reserves the right to publish his identity should any of that change. Now, CNN has denied any allegations of blackmail, issuing a statement that read in part, quote, CNN decided not to publish the name of the Reddit user out of concern for his safety. Joining us now with reaction to the latest embarrassment.
If it was me, I wouldn't have apologized for nothing. It was all art.
And from the Hill, Joe Concha. All right, Joe, I'm going to start with you. You went to school for journalism. When CNN says, look, we are not publishing his name because we're concerned for his personal safety, but then they turn around and they say, but if he's bad, if he does anything like this again, we're going to dox him. Tell us what that means.
The Sopranos.
Well, it's interesting you bring up that point around safety, because if he were to do something, what they deem to be unprofessional or objective, then safety, screw it, goes out the window. You're on your own, pal, right? Doxing
I love that video.
is exposing somebody who's otherwise anonymous on the internet.
Okay.
Right, and what we're seeing here is a major international news organization
Look
getting
at Trump
into the
go.
business of shaming, of policing the internet, of avoiding journalism in this pursuit because of a silly internet video that no one is taking seriously, but CNN claims is inciting violence against the network. You watch that video. That's not inciting violence. It's a stupid video of 1,000 stupid videos that we see on the internet.
Yep.
It's like a WWE. I mean, it's like a wrestling match.
Which is fake.
That,
That's the whole thing behind it. That's the metaphor for all this. It's fake news. They're symbolizing that.
And all of a sudden, they hunt him down. They find him. The guy's apologetic. He's going to take it down. He apologizes for all of his prior sins in his life. I feel like the guy went to confession, and the priest said to him, look, if you show up again here, I'm going to tell the whole congregation how bad you are.
And Judge, it's not like the meme made him out to be a serial killer, for crying out loud. It was funny.
It was funny. Still is.
Seriously, it was funny, for crying out loud. Suppose he had body slammed the Fox reporter. Do you think CNN would have made the same deal?
Nope.
Oh, I doubt it.
Are they a news organization, or are they juvenile hall? Are they public relations? It's ridiculous. And I think Ted Cruz is on to something, Judge. If it came down this way, you apologize or else, that very well could be extortion. If he was apologetic and volunteered never to do it again, that's a whole different thing. So it depends on how CNN came around with this deal.
Well, we're going to talk about that in the next segment.
Oh, you know they threatened him.
I agree with you.
Come to my house and try threatening me. See what happens.
I want to read what WikiLeaks put on Twitter. What WikiLeaks said was, quote, Trump was bad, but CNN is worse. They threaten an amateur satirist behind a Trump video, make fun of us again, and will dox you. I mean, even WikiLeaks finds that this is unethical. So we're going to save the legality of it to the next segment. But this is unethical. I mean, this is what you do, right?
Yeah, The Intercept has a great writer, Glenn Greenwald, you've probably heard of, and he said this is a dark turn for CNN. Glenn Greenwald is not a conservative or anything. I can't tell what he is. So this has become something where they're getting killed from both the left and the right. This was trending on Twitter, CNN blackmail, for most of Monday. So this is a pretty big story. And the reason why I think it's getting a lot more attention than if this were just one mistake that CNN made, think about the last couple of weeks, Janine, and everything that we've seen. 2 major retractions at that network on stories involving reporters basing their stories on a foundation of one unnamed source. You had people in undercover videos saying that most of the CNN coverage of Russia is mostly BS. That also that the president is stupid for a synonym for doggy doo. Basically, you know, their own producers saying this. I could go on. New Year's Eve co-host Kathy Griffin fired for holding up a severed head of the president.
And they didn't do crap about it.
Hosts a show on that network calling the president.
Yeah, they fired her, but big whoop.
I could go on and on. So all this is bad PR.
What I'm saying is they did not go on and on about it like they are with this guy.
AT&T, and this kind of PR disasters, one after the other, is having an effect on the integrity of this network, and most importantly, the perception. Michael Goodwin, who's a Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist, he said, CNN used to be boring and trustworthy. Now it's boring and untrustworthy.
And you know,
And Judge,
Larry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Judge, I was going to say, had this been a man, would they have entered into the same deal, or did they do this because he was a teenager? And if so, isn't that bullying?
Well, he wasn't a teenager. There was some misreporting about that.
Yeah, they didn't know it at the time, but clearly it appears, Larry, CNN has a culture that is determined, so it appears, to destroy Donald Trump and to destroy him to the point where they are losing all credibility.
And Janine, Harvard did a study a couple of weeks ago saying that 93% of CNN coverage on the Trump administration is negative. Think about that. Only 7 out of 100 stories of the segments that you see on there can be deemed positive. That is obviously showing an agenda.
Larry, last word.
Maybe someday we're going to get an apology from CNN, you think? Maybe they're going to admit that they mistreated President Trump. That's when you know hell has frozen over.
Yeah, don't hold your breath on that. Larry Elder, Joe Concha, thanks so much for being
CNN
with us tonight.
sucks!
And